Hey everyone, it's Phil Key from Night Owl Films. Thanks for tuning in. So, marketing and advertising techniques. I've been seeing quite a few good ones on social media recently. I wanted to share with you guys and girls ways to do it. So, firstly, one example I'm going to take straight away was the horror film Smile. So they had actors portraying that creepy smile in I think it was football matches and baseball matches across America, and it got picked up on in the background of the shot. Obviously, they'll have had to get permission to do all that. Another one was Megan. The studio sent out many people, young girls or young actresses, I don't know the exact details obviously, dressed as Megan, but they'd parade them inside the stadiums on full display, and it created the hype, it got the attention. One I found the other day was for The Strangers, the new ones they're doing. I don't know if it's a remake or reboot or just a continuation, mind. But there was three actors stood, I think it was somewhere in New York City, just stood in the middle of broad daylight, fully costumed up. You couldn't see the faces. And what did it do? Got people's attention. It was on social media, being passed around like crazy. When you want to stand out of the crowd, you've got to think outside the box. Again, a bit different this one. Jack Black is currently pushing promotions and advertising and marketing for Kung Fu Panda. He has done a lot of work for it, I've noticed, and it's got people talking more than I thought it would. And when I was doing my second short horror film, The Devil Comes Calling, one morning I just woke up and I got this idea in my head. Put a little knife against the script and take a photo of it, and I did. And I uploaded it in a way that got people's attention, and people were like, wow, you're not even showing the film, but that is quite a cool way to advertise it. So how do you go about doing it? I'm not going to say think outside the box. Sometimes the idea will be spontaneous, it will just come to you, and you go with it and you take the idea, you take the opportunity whilst it's there. But ultimately, you've got to think, how do I engage people without sort of, how do you put it, paying for it? So use social media as much as you can. I don't use TikTok, but I know countless people do. Do interviews with the cast and crew if you can. Show clips, behind the scenes videos, nothing too revealing obviously. If there's a certain prop that stands out for its uniqueness or for just being abstract in itself, upload a photo of that. There is always something of a material that can be used for marketing and advertising. And it could be something so simple that you don't even see it in front of your eyes. When I was in university and college, they said, the colours of the text as well, the size of the text, it all counts. Yes, it does count. Whenever you're making a poster, why you're making the poster, what objective does it have? Is it going to pull the audience in? Is it going to make people's eyes turn? You have those 3D posters, you have the bus stop posters where the eyes just look like they're following you. It's all clever subliminal messaging. You've got to think in a way that people will actually notice it without realizing they have noticed it. Now, when I got the idea to put the knife near the script for The Devil Comes Calling, the reason that came to my mind was because I had done that many script changes, and the script was covered in different highlighters. And I thought, you know what? Let's look at this as if, I don't know about anyone else, but when I do some reading, I wear glasses, and I put the glasses down, and I thought, instead of it being a set of glasses that I put down a knife and just take a photo of it and just little caption, put it out there on my Facebook, and it blew up. It worked. People got talking about it because it was different. I'm not going to say original, but different. I had never seen that type of photo being taken before, so I thought, I'm going to take it. Nev Campbell did one recently when she announced she was returning to Scream. She, or it might have been Kevin Williamson, they uploaded a photo of the script, just with, you know, a few names on it, with Nev Campbell's name put across it, so obviously no one could copy the photo, but it got spread around like crazy and it hooked people. Sometimes it's not about reaching out in a way that it hooks people, but reaching out in a way that people who it's meant to hook, it will hook. So if I was going to make a film about cars, for example, a killer car, I know it's already been done, but a killer car, I would perhaps take certain photos with the car and dress it up a little bit, possibly throw a bit of fake blood on it or something like that. And then I would upload that, and people who had a fan of horror films about cars would engage with that. It's not just about reaching out to the new audiences, to a new following and pulling more people in. It's about keeping the current ones engaged with you and keeping them active, keeping the following alive. Because what happens then? Word of mouth. I only came across Jack Black's promotions because I was watching some Disneyland videos, and then these videos just started popping up, and I thought at first, I thought Jack Black, I know he's a really talented, funny guy, so I thought shot the clips on, see what they're made of, and I kept watching them and more watched them, the more that came through. I'm never going to watch Kung Fu Panda, I don't like animations, but I thought, you know, he's a funny guy, Jack Black, I'm going to watch him. And now I know about that promotion, even though I'm not going to watch the film, because he reached out to everyone he could. He made the fun of the video. He made it funny. He made it enjoyable. He made it laughable. He made it engaging. He made it very interesting, to say the least, if you haven't seen them. Same with the Scream. When it was announced, first it was Nev Campbell's returning. Then they slowly put forward that Kevin Williamson's directing it. So Scream fans like myself, we already know what that means. And then apparently Courtney Cox has already been locked in to return. And I think is it the Patrick actor, I can't remember his full name. When all those names have been announced, everyone like me already knew what it meant. It meant we're getting a Scream like we did before Wes Craven passed away. And personally for me, that's brilliant news. Now, to a new following, to someone that's never watched it before, it probably won't even brush the surface. They won't understand, you know, what all the hype was about. And that's where you have to make the differentiation. If you're reaching out to a new following, you've got to remember they won't understand the connection you've made, because the connection you have made with your current fans, they understand it. It's like Beetlejuice 2, another great example. The teaser trailer for that was released the other week. It was released at 9 p.m. in the UK on social media. Within 4 hours, it was viewed just on the Warner Brothers site alone for YouTube. I think it was 1.2 million times. Now, I can probably guess the majority of those views were fans who were already seen the original from years ago, not new fans. Don't get me wrong, there's probably new fans out there that have watched it a few times. I personally just kept rewatching it. I love the music. I love the shots within it. Didn't reveal anything at all, hardly, but I felt that connection straight away. And then when the posters are getting shared for the film, I know what that's about, so it's reached out to me. Whereas when I've actually gone around asking a few people who aren't film fans, have you seen Beetlejuice, the first one? Oh, no, I've never heard of it. All right. So now I know that if I was to show them a poster for Beetlejuice 2, they won't connect with it because they haven't seen the original. So there's no nostalgia there. There's no emotion to connect to. Whereas if you were to show a Beetlejuice 2 poster to someone like me, the emotion's there. There's a connection already. You've hooked me. I'm going to follow it. I'm going to watch the film now. You've got to remember, when you are putting any type of marketing or promotion or advertising out there, that there's two different types of audiences minimum to reach out to. Your current audience, which will understand the advertisement better. Then there's the new audience, which you have to engage and hope they take the bait and the hook. There's that famous saying, hook, line and sinker. Sometimes it works on the new audiences, sometimes it doesn't. If you create something though that people who already know the franchises or the film, You already know they will understand that connection. You know you can put that out there and they will connect to it. Don't get me wrong, sometimes you'll come across a film or a sequel that you've been waiting for. I'll give the best example I can do. Hocus Pocus 2. I was eagerly waiting for that film. When it came out, wasn't too impressed with it. I wasn't. I wouldn't say I've grew with it. There's certain bits that are okay. There's certain bits I thought, nah, you've rushed this, don't like it. But when it was announced that they were making it, I was straight away following it like crazy because I wanted to. Whereas new people who had never heard of it, they had to be persuaded, introduced to it. And that's where you've got to differentiate and make sure that whatever you put out there to hook people in, you're hitting the right target audience. Because there is different target audiences, and you've got to make sure that you're feeding them both a little bit of what they need if you want them to come back. So don't be afraid, don't be nervous. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Everything is trial and error, but put something together if you can, shut it out there, test it, see what it's like. I've done it before with my short horror film posters. Some posters have gone down cool, some people have laughed at the other ones, some people have come back with, this makes no sense, we don't understand what you're trying to tell us here. You have got to tell a story within what you are uploading, and that story can either connect to the current audience like me and we will understand your story, or if you are using a story on a new audience who doesn't know the storyline, you've got a bit of homework to do there. You might achieve it, you might miss it, it might be a touch and go moment, but ultimately you've got to remember that when you are reaching out to an audience, it's not just one audience, you're reaching out to a few. Make different things work for different audiences. Once again, thank you everyone for tuning in, and take it easy.